Michelle's next great idea, instead of moving to Decatur, is you need to have your own, own your own building, and be your own landlord, so to speak. So then that sort of fell upon me to go and start the whole process. So I was kind of the quarterback, so to speak, in the developer's role. Victoria Collier was an attorney that had this site and had a small building at the front of the site. It was one of the few sites that could be found. There was nothing on the market at the time in downtown Decatur. We had talked to her, and we were just off. We were kind of way off on pricing, and it just became clear that there was no deal. We weren't going to get to a deal. So that was somewhat disappointing, but we started, going out and looking at other sites. We ended up looking at the McKinney Apothecary building over on Church Street. They basically put out some deal terms that were just we couldn't live with at the end of the day. And we thought we were close, but then it just kind of blew up right at the end. And so the day that deal fell apart, I picked up the phone and called her back. I said, "Hey, Victoria, just checking in. We're still out kicking the tires. We're working on a deal. It fell apart." She said, "I'm ready to sell. Can you add $50,000 to your number?" And I said, "We'll be there with a contract in 10 minutes. Done."
Bart worked his magic and got us over there, so then we had to find an architect. So Bart and I, and at this point I had met Bill a couple of times in here but didn't really know him very well. But we have a common friend, Sean Vincent, who has a gallery right over here that we're both very close to, but we didn't know each other very well. So Bart and I just went on Google and put in veterinary architect and found the 5 closest that were in this area and just started interviewing them, and they were all these meetings across from these big tables, and they were all just sitting there going, so, okay, well, we do this, and this was going to cost, and we kind of had an idea of what we wanted, and one of the things we like is this building down the street called the Artesian. So Bart and I kept saying, it'd be nice, it could be something cool like the Artesian. So we went to all these architects, and after one meeting, we were sitting up here actually in the Belgian bar just going, all these architects, and none of them are the architect we want. So Sean is up there, and Sean goes, "Why don't you try Bill Carpenter?" And I'm like, "Bill Carpenter, yeah, the bald guy, the cool bald guy." I said, "Yeah, he's an architect." I said, "But has he ever designed a vet practice?" He's like, "I don't know if he has, but he's worth talking to, and his office is right down the street from where you're building, and he'll have to walk by it every day." And Bart and I said, so Sean called Bill on his cell phone that day, and we set up a meeting. And Bart and I went over there to the meeting and sat down in Lightroom with Bill, and Bill sat down across from, not a big table, but this little tiny table, and had coffee for us, and Bill said, "Okay, I kind of have an idea that's something like the Artesian."
Oh, really?
Oh. And now what Bill doesn't know,
Bing.
Bart and I have said since then that Bill had the job right then, but of course we both went, so each other said, "Okay, keep going." And but Bart and I walked out, we said, "Okay, Bill, nice talking to you." We walked out to McDonough Street, and we walked out, and then we started going, "It's not him." I said, "Let's go tell him now." He's like, "No, we can't tell him now. We still got to talk to one more architect that we had an appointment with." I said, "Do we have to talk to him?" "No, we got to keep the appointment, Will."
This guy who designed the vet clinics just has a pretty strong pitch. He's like, "Look, you've never done this before. I can get discounts on equipment, and I know how clinics lay out, and if you don't use me, you're not going to have efficiency in the layout and that sort of thing." And we said, you know what? It is more important to us. The thing that we cannot do on our own is the design. We have to hire design, and we want that. That is what captures people's eyes. That's what makes this a place. It makes this somewhere.
We did this all under an incredibly tight time frame. We had to do this in about 3 weeks. All of this happened. Now, of course, we developed the design and we got it through the city and we developed the drawings, but the idea itself happened in a period of 3 weeks, right before Christmas.
We looked for the property for about a year and a half, got it under contract the day before Thanksgiving, 2006. We interviewed architects the Monday after Thanksgiving. We started interviewing architects. We met with Bill on December the 5th. We signed Bill up on December the 6th. And then we said, "Bill, we've got to get going, and to be able to have a veterinary clinic where downtown Decatur, the zoning on the property is C2, and to have a veterinary clinic in C2 zoning, you got to go for special approval. We signed a bill up on December the 6th and said we've got to have conceptual drawings of this clinic in a month through the holidays to be able to present at these meetings.
I didn't know if we could do it, and I told them that. I told them that I didn't know if it was possible. Because, you don't know how fast ideas will come to you, and I told them that we might have to wait another month or two, and they said we can't,
And Bill says fine. It just went into full tilt, turned Lightroom on its head, and just took all the resources and started working on this conceptual design.
And what was great is things started to come together very, very quickly. One of the first things we did is we said we need to get everybody that's in this family, because it's a family, The Village Vets is a family, and we decided to get everybody together, kind of like we are here right now. And so everybody came in, and we wrote down on little cards what we wanted this building to be like, right? Remember that?
Yep.
And everyone had their own thoughts and ideas, and we put them out on the table, and literally that is where the design came from. I think what happened was this amazing thing where they had all described the vision, and what I tried to do is just take that vision and capture it. It's a very urban project. It's about the city of Decatur, and it creates urban spaces for the city. Decatur is a really tight-knit, beautiful community just outside Atlanta, and it has a courthouse square, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. It has a lot of historic buildings, and that's why we really wanted to be part of Decatur, because it had both history and a progressive attitude. It's very open and exciting, and it's also a very strong supporter of the arts.
We're just shooting this building because they're going to tear it down.
And when does that happen?
Any day.
That's what I thought.
As we were starting the design of the new Village Vets project, we found out that the historic building across the street, the Decatur High School auditorium, was going to be demolished. 4:30. The auditorium building, the original building, really stood for growth and nurturing, and was a place of permanence and a place where there was a lot of joy as these kids learned different sports there, and so we were sad to see the building go. We wanted to create a nurturing space across the street at the Village Vets, a space that is all about Decatur and creates this kind of sanctuary. We had designed the building to reflect that existing high school auditorium, and the stairway on it really influenced the entrance to the Village Vets. So you had on one side of the street something being torn down, and on the other side of the street something very optimistic being built.
I wanted everybody to have, I wanted people to bring their animals here and have an experience. I wanted them to, when they walk through the door, just feel like this is their place and that their pets are comfortable here. And it's, more than just a vet practice. This is a group of people who are dedicated to giving their pet, top-notch, excellent care and giving them an excellent experience.
I would prefer, I think that's appropriate if Michelle's here.
Listening to all of the ideas that other people had for the Village Vets project, The first inspiration for the design that came into my mind was a visit that I had taken to Paley Park, one of my favorite spaces in New York City.